This is AgriCountry, brought to you in part by Alice Chalmers and your nearby Alice Chalmers dealer. And here's your host for AgriCountry, Ed Johnson.
Good morning and good to have you with us for this week's edition of AgriCountry. We'll begin today's show by taking you to the OARDC at Worcester as they prepare for their open house. Also today we're going to take you to the dairy operation of John and Patty Steiner. John last winter was named the Ohio JC's top young farmer. And also today, we're going to visit some of the top collegiate students at the College of Agriculture, Home Economics, and Natural Resources at Ohio State. Welcome to AgriCountry.
Your Alice Chalmers dealer has offered some powerful reasons to buy an AC 5030 or 5020 diesel-powered tractor. Both of these mighty 25 and 31 horsepower Alice Chalmers diesels give you 12 forward speeds plus differential lock. And right now, you'll find big savings on diesel power at your nearby Alice Chalmers dealer's place. Sunshine, blue skies, nice breeze blowing, warm temperatures. And we're hoping that it's exactly this way when they have the open house here at the Ohio Agricultural Research and Development Center. 100 years of research has happened here. And we're going to talk about it with the assistant director here at the center and also the chairman of the open house, Dr. Charlie Johnston. Charlie, nice to be here. Such a beautiful day and all the color. How many acres here at the center?
2,000 approximately, Ed. And we also have a total of 7,000 around the state at the different branches, but the open house will be here at the center headquarters in Worcester on June 17th through the 20th. And we really hope that people will take the opportunity, that's all Ohio citizens will take the opportunity to come visit with us during these days. We're just extremely proud of the association we've had with agriculture and want everybody to come visit with us during our open house.
Because it really does belong to the citizens of Ohio.
Absolutely, and the people who are employed here at the center feel that way, and we want everybody to come and be with us during this time, any time for that matter, but we're making a special observance of these 4 days.
And Charlie, isn't this one of the most prominent research centers of the entire U.S.?
Well, we here at the center absolutely think so, but I think if you would ask people outside the state of Ohio that they would agree with us, so there's no doubt about it in our mind. We're strongly associated with ag industry in Ohio and the role that we have played, and we want to make sure that the citizens of Ohio are aware of the importance of agriculture in Ohio.
And I think those of us in agriculture and agribusiness, Charlie, awfully proud of what happens here at the center. You begin the open house on the 17th, and it goes through Sunday the 20th. Let's go day by day.
Okay, Ed. On Thursday the 17th, we begin with Public Officials Day. And on this day, we honor those public officials who have made a particularly strong contribution to Ohio agriculture. All the county commissioners from the state of Ohio will be meeting here on that day, and we'll honor the public officials with a centennial medallion, which has been struck in commemoration of the centennial for the state of for the OARDC. Then on Friday, we begin with Dairy Day at 9 in the morning, and this will continue through the day. In the morning, we have programs for dairymen and people associated with the dairy industry. These would be technical programs to help them with their operations. And then in the afternoon, we have a Knowledge Bowl to select the team which competes from Ohio to participate in the national event.
And Charlie, wouldn't you encourage they bring the entire family?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We'll have food here on the campus that they can purchase, and that's the reason we're starting it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the open house, and hope that people will come and spend the whole day and in the evening.
No charge to get on the grounds?
No charge to get on the grounds. The only thing that it will cost you is some food if you'd like to purchase that from private vendors that are here on the campus with.
What happens on Saturday?
On Saturday, it begins with Sheep Day, which is our traditional sheep day. In the morning, we have our scientific and program for producers. And then in the afternoon, we move the program to the Sheep Center, where we have demonstrations and more talk by our center people to tell people about the latest technology that's available to help them in their sheep operation. Also on Saturday, we'll have the 14th Annual College of Agriculture, Home Economics, and Natural Resources Alumni Day here. It'll actually be held on ATI because the center will be busy with the open house activities. But the alumni, after their meeting over there, will come and celebrate the open house with us also.
Charlie, you mentioned ATI, and I want you to share with our viewers, we talk so much about ATI and that 2-year program. Will people, I hope, have the chance here at the open house to actually see, and for many of them the first time, ATI and get familiar with that program?
Sure, Ed. In addition to ATI being totally open and available for visitors, we will also have the entire center open. All departments, buildings, research programs, everything that's here at the center will be open to the public, and we're spiffing it up and trying to get it in the best shape possible so that we can say thanks, Ohio, for the support that you've given us, and just do the best possible job we can of presenting the whole research center. It's hard to open the whole operation up, but we're doing it for the first time in a long time.
We've mentioned some special things of interest to people of agriculture, but talk just a bit, Charlie, about those things of interest to people who have gardens and lawns and so forth, because any day they're always welcome.
Well, on Saturday we're also designating this day as Garden and Garden Club Day to give something for the homeowner and home gardener in Ohio. And we're going to start this at 1 in the afternoon with 4 30-minute short presentations going on consecutively regarding different things about gardening. And we're also going to open up one of the original homes here on the campus and landscape the yard so that people will have the opportunity to not only hear what they should be doing, but also see the most beautiful farm home here on the campus fully landscaped.
Charlie, what might be some of the hardcore research that people can see here during the open house?
Well, Ed, some of the main things that will be displayed will be things like our soybean research, our wheat breeding research, our livestock and poultry research, our animal disease research. We're standing here in the crabapple garden, rhododendron and azalea area. There's also research being done here. This area will be completely open. Many areas, the whole campus will be open. Dairy research. I just can't.
There's just a lot of things going on.
300 plus research projects going on at one time. Solar energy, solar ponds, plant pathology. We'll have a plant clinic where we can diagnose problems that homeowners will have with their plants. The electron microscope laboratory will be open.
So lots of things.
Lots of things.
Charlie, nice to be with you. For you viewing friends, may we extend an invitation to all of you, wherever you might be in Ohio or viewing us out of Ohio, open house as they celebrate 100 years of research here at what we commonly call the OARDC at Worcester, June 17th through the 20th. Our guest has been the open house chairman, Dr. Charlie Johnston.
When you think combine, I want you to think Gleaner. Remember that your Alice Chalmers dealer has both the rotary and conventional in 6 different sizes. The Gleaner gives you more capacity, more productivity, and more value for your dollars invested. See your Alice Chalmers dealer today.
It's June, it's dairy month, and we take you to dairy and country of our state. In fact, one of the top agricultural counties in Ohio. We're in Wayne County. We're about 17 miles north of Worcester, Ohio. We're about a mile west of a little burg called Sterling, Ohio. And we're at the Steiner's farm. The farm, John Steiner and his wife Patty, they're with us. We're also going to talk with his brother Dave. We're going to kind of visit out at the barnyard when we talk with Dave. And of course, John, earlier this year, was on AgriCountry as he was named the Ohio JC's Outstanding Young Farmer for Ohio. And John, a very impressive dairy operation. Certainly nice to be here with you and Patty and with Brother Dave. Indeed, it is a family operation. Who all is involved? Let's start there.
My brother David and I are employed here full time. We have another brother, Carlton, who is a full partner. He is employed elsewhere. David's family is involved. He has 5 boys. The boys help milk and work in the field work. Our wives are involved in cleaning up the farm area, the lawns being mowed and so forth.
John, how long have you Steiners been on this land?
My daddy bought this farm in 1959, and he died in 1971. David graduated that in 59 from high school and has worked here ever since. I graduated from Ohio University in 1969, taught school for 5 years. After my father died, I continued to teach school for 3 years and then joined the operation here full time.
Would you make that same decision over again to leave the teaching profession and come back to the farm?
Sure would. I'd have probably left a little sooner if I had that chance.
It's been that good to you?
It's been good. The 70s were good to us, Ed. We expanded. We farmed more acres, so we have milked more cows. Our production, both in the field and in the feedlot, have increased.
How many cows are you milking now?
We're milking about 125, Ed. About 20 of those right now are currently dry. We have 50 bred heifers to come on within the next year. In addition, there are about 50 calves.
So you are in an expansion program somewhat?
Somewhat. More concerned about getting better as we grow bigger. Want to keep it within reach so that we can do a good job and at the same time be efficient.
We certainly always like to visit with the wives. And Patty, nice to be back with you again. Comment about the 2 little girls first.
Okay, Susan is 7 months old, and Julie down here is 3 years old.
You know, we've said a number of times, you just can't beat the farm to raise the children.
That's for sure.
Were you raised on a farm?
I was raised on a farm, but my father didn't farm it. He was a barber. We rented the land out.
So at least you are familiar with the rural area.
Yeah, but I didn't really know what was going on.
What's your involvement with the Steinhurst farm?
I'm the bookkeeper, and I mow the lawn and do the garden and take care of the children, those things.
Patty, do the long hours bother you?
Most of the time not, no. It's just usually if I'm tired, maybe.
And it's also 7 days a week. We just don't shut the old gals off Friday night and say,
right.
We'll catch back up with you come Monday morning. Doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, I want to get back to this thing of being named Ohio JC's Outstanding Young Farmer. That's a nice kind of an honor, John. How do you think you were tapped?
Well, I'd like to think I was tapped on the merits of our operation. In reality, Ed, I know there are many outstanding young farmers in Ohio, and it's very difficult to name one as the outstanding. And I knew there was a good group of young men up for state nomination, and I felt honored to be picked over the field at Circleville.
And I just again want to say congratulations to the Circleville area JCs. They hosted just a tremendous state program.
They certainly did, and it was really a wonderful experience to be there.
John, there's been lots of talk. Secretary Block, our agricultural secretary of the Reagan administration, has been fussing about dairy price supports. How do you react as a young dairyman when you hear that thing, see that thing being talked about on the news? Do you react negative, or if somebody who lives in town says, why in the world, John, do you guys need support?
Ed, I don't like to hear a lot of talk about it. I know it is a very real problem. Our government spends money in many different areas of agriculture, and not only the milk support price program. Many of these areas we don't glean any benefit, and I'd hope that in the future years here, maybe our production would, as a nation, be a little decreased, but I would also hope that our consumption would be increased. And you know, Ed, although this surplus problem is a very real problem, you know, in some countries, Ed, they don't have a surplus problem. They just don't have enough, period.
John, how important is this support program to you fellas who are milking cows?
It's pretty important, Ed. Milk production isn't something like egg production or producing tires that you can turn it off or turn it on. If we lose a lot of production right now, and a lot of these heifers and cows are culled out and slaughtered, milk could very well go to $15, $18, $20 in the future, in the very near future, if the current supplies were cut drastically like they previously talked about.
Of course, Mr. Block would like to see you fellows call out 1 million cows here in 82.
What would that do to the beef price, Ed?
It's a good question. It really is, as you come back at me. I understand that you don't spend all the time on this farm, especially come fall. You really do officiate some football.
Oh, a little bit. This will be my 16th year in football officiating. It's something I enjoy. I leave the problems of the farm and enter the problem field on another field.
Interesting experiences that you can share with us that have happened on a Friday night on the football field?
I'd like to forget about inadvertent whistles and dropped flags that I wish I wouldn't have dropped.
John, back to the farming operation. I take that you and Dave and the boys that are here, you're raising more than enough grain for the dairy herd.
Yeah, this year we'll probably sell 15 to 20,000 bushels of corn. We have about 60 acres of wheat will all be sold. We'll raise 20 acres of soybeans, and this would constitute a cash crop. But the important thing is to raise enough feed for these 200 head of dairy cattle.
Let's talk about production. What is the rolling herd average?
Close to 16,000 pounds of milk and about 580 of fat.
They're taught about moving away from the butterfat content we see at the grocery stores. That 2% is becoming more and more popular all the time, John, and more to a protein content. Again, how do you react as a dairyman?
It's interesting that everybody would like to see richer milk, but yet they buy skim milk in the store. The other angle is the fact that cheese production has increased so much, and they like to price it on protein because they know exactly how many pounds of cheese they can get out of 100 pounds of milk.
I want to go back to Patty for just a moment. We have not talked about some of the community involved kind of things that you might be in. What would some of those be, Patty?
Mostly just church-related activities. We're very involved in our church.
As many rural people are across the state of Ohio. Might you become more involved in other things as the kids become older?
Oh, yes, I'm sure, when they get into school and things. Yeah, 4-H and, school activities.
But Dave, certainly nice to be here and visiting with you. Just perfect kind of weather. Want to share with our viewing friends a little bit about the feeding program, because I'm impressed the way your cattle look, the way the calves and the heifers look. Are the cows on pasture any time during the summer?
Yes, they are. See, for about 4 or 5 months.
And then you'll bring them off of the pasture. Now, what about any hay as far as dry hay is concerned?
Yes, we feed about 20 bales of dry hay per day.
Year-round?
Yes.
Why would you go with dry hay year-round, Dave?
We like to keep the room and, working right.
I was impressed the way the calves look. What kind of a feeding program do you go? Let's talk about first the young calves.
We feed them on some landmark, primacy 1 and 2. 1 to the small calves and then 2 then to the bigger calves.
And I also noticed that you feeding some haylage to the calves.
Yes, we do.
How early did you begin
they
that?
Like them. Around 3 months of age, we feed them, some haylage.
Do you like to set up with the calves in the barn here?
Oh, yes, we do. We just really like that nice.
How many heifers will you try to take into the milking herd here each year, Dave?
We always take in about 25 to the milking herd per year.
And that would mean that you would call out 25 of the older cows?
No, we don't.
So you're expanding the herds, what you're telling me?
Yes, we always try to. We always try to work it that way.
How many years you been here?
Since '59.
Is this the home farm?
Yes, it is.
Dave, I understand that you have quite a family. How many children?
I've got 5 boys.
And their names?
Kurt, Dwight, Eric, Brenton, and Ryan.
Dave, nice to be here at your farm.
It's nice to meet you too, Ed.
Thank you. And once again, our guests, and so nice to be with them, John and Patty Steiner. And of course, John, this past winter, named by the Ohio Jaycees as the outstanding young farmer in Ohio.
The new 8000 series tractors from Alice Chalmers deliver 360-degree visibility and a sleek new styling with big, quiet, comfortable cabs. Enter from either side and carry enough fuel for a day's work. And here's the new 390 corn planter, available in 8, 12, 16, or 24-row units for accurate, conventional, or no-till planting. See your Alice Chalmers dealer today.
We're taken now to the front of the Ohio Student Union on the Ohio State campus. Many memories here for those of us who are alumni. This is the evening of the College of Agriculture, Home Economics, and Natural Resources Recognition Program. Each year they dedicate that program to somebody. This year to two very close friends of mine, Dean Roy Cotman, I still like to refer to him as the Dean, and his charming wife, Wanda. As they recognize the two of you, Roy, as you're about to wrap up this career, I'm confident, positive, that you're going to miss these kind of events.
You bet your life. If there's any one thing I'm going to miss, it's the students. And I think I may have said to you previously, Ed, that one of the kinds of things that kind of strikes me a little bit strange is that I really enjoy being in the company of youngsters about the age of these college students more than I do older people. Don't tell anybody that, of course.
Well, I can understand that too. I agree.
really do, because they're vibrant, they're full of ideas, they're fun to be around, they're looking forward always optimistically, and it's really great to work with the students.
And we can prove from this program that they certainly can handle responsibility.
Oh my, this is a fantastic program. Every year it's a fantastic program. It gets better every year.
How would you rate the College of Agriculture, School of Home Economics and Natural Resources as we compare this with other campuses across the country?
Well, Ed, it's got to be very close to the top, and it's a matter of judgment on that sort of thing, but certainly we have a number of departments that are as good, if not the best in the nation, and all of them are near the top. It's a very fine College of Agriculture and Home Economics, Natural Resources, and the students are just utterly fantastic. As you, again, may recall, we've, over the last dozen years, graduated about 10% of all the students who enroll at Ohio State. About 10% of them are our students from the College of Agriculture, Home Economics, Natural Resources. But we have had 39% of all students graduating with distinction from this university. So we have really top students. And I think the reason is that we have outstanding faculty, and we have fine facilities, and we have, I believe, some of the finest career opportunities available anywhere for young people.
And this week again, we're proud to recognize on AgriCountry two fine people, Dr. Roy Cotman and his wife Wanda.
Certainly nice to have you with us this morning for AgriCountry. Next week, something a bit different as we share with you how to buy a pickup truck. We're going to be at Maxon Chevrolet in Columbus talking with their truck sales manager, Paul Manning. Then we're going to take you to far western Ohio to the Brown Swiss operation of Kent Iding. That's over in Mercer County. And then next week we're going to share with you a real concern of many farm families across the state of Ohio of the new entrance standards at Ohio State. Join me next Saturday morning for AgriCountry.
Thank you for joining us today for AgriCountry with Ed Johnson, brought to you in part by Alice Chalmers and your local Alice Chalmers dealer. AgriCountry recognizes farm families who produce daily our abundant food supply.